we finally made it back to Heartbreak Creek, me and my brother. Been walking along for about 30 minutes, and you see the conditions are pretty good. And you see that right there. All right, Bubba, go ahead and pick that up out of there and see what we got.
Oh man, it's deep.
And cold, it's ice cold.
Oh.
It's November the 24th? Oh man. A Lost Lake, nice serrated.
Broke.
2 breaks on it.
Fracture, I bet you.
Wow.
That's a fracture break, see it?
Unbelievable. Look at those serrations on there. Hope y'all can see that. Kind of turn it back and forth. Yeah, there you go. Nice. All right, hopefully that's just the first one of the day. We're going to keep going. We got a long way to go. We'll get back with you if we find anything else.
Nice crusher too, boy.
Yeah, just come up on a little pestle or corn crusher here. Pick it up. Nice. Now if I could just find the bowl that it goes to. Walked down this side of the creek to meet us. He just happened to walk on the other side of the creek from this here. So I'm gonna pull it up out of there. Looks like it might be a snap base or something. Oh no! Oh, it's perfect.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. That's why we do it right there. Beautiful. What is that, Bubba Nedley? Wow. All right. Sweet.
Your fingers crossed.
Oh man.
Are you ready?
All right, baby. Here we go. Pull it up.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's broke.
Oh no.
Oh, just the tip.
Oh, wow.
Fucking heart freak.
Wow. That is nice. I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let me get a picture.
It's good.
We switched creeks. My wife's found something here. Let's see what she's got. Oh my gosh.
Teeth are getting
Right
muddy.
there it is. Go ahead and pick it up. Oh my goodness, it's nice, Adina. Tip broke. Wow.
Whoa.
Sweet. Good job. All right, we're walking down Heartbreak Creek. Look at all these nice butterflies. It's pretty. My wife just walked up on this little drill here. Really nice. Okay, let me have the sticks and I'll just go ahead and pick it up out of there. Oh man. Excellent. And
It's
it's
all
whole.
there.
It's all there.
There's your tip.
Good job, honey. Let's see it again. Nice.
Eagle Glen Pet Trail.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're in John James Audubon State Park. So if you hear any noises, it's a popular park. You might hear other people enjoying this beautiful afternoon. November 25th, 2022. This park's got a long history of Bigfoot activity. And get all kinds of reports from here, from Bigfoot to Dogman. So, no telling, what's up in this place here. It's been here for a long time. So, if you're a returning subscriber, returning viewer, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Glad to have you here. If you're a new viewer, welcome. thank you for coming here today. So I also want to say thanks to all the people who have been sending in emails and messages concerning their inhumanoid encounters. If you have one, if you've encountered Dogman or Bigfoot or Goatman or any of the other inhumanoids out there, and if you want to share it with us, just send in an email and we'll see about reading it on a future video. Everyone's been very generous and they sent in a lot of messages, and I'm already behind, and I've really only just started this channel, so we're going to try to read a couple of them today. And today we're going to talk about Mothman. Now I just want to say we're only interested in true encounters here, not fiction. If you've written a piece of flowery fiction pertaining to the paranormal, there's 1,000 other YouTube channels out there that will accept that and narrate it as it's real. But for this channel, there's no creepypasta type stuff. Only real encounters. If you have one, you want to share it with us, please send it in. So today we're going to talk about Mothman. Mothman is another one of those creatures that's put under the blanket category of cryptids. But they're not cryptids at all. I totally disagree with that term. It's a woefully inadequate descriptor of what we're dealing with when it comes to things like Bigfoot and Dogman and Mothman and creatures like that. So cryptids by definition are simply undiscovered animals, rumored to exist but have yet to be scientifically classified. And if you think that Bigfoot is an animal, you're wrong. Or any of his other cousins walking out there in the woods, you're just wrong. They're not animals. They're something far more than that. And I'm going to read you this email that I got a while back, and I've written a little paragraph about it. It's going to be in one of my upcoming books. So I'll just read you the actual email from the lady. This happened back right before Mount St. Helens exploded. So she says, I saw Mothman right before Mount St. Helens blew up when I was a kid, claims 40-year-old Shawnee Harrison. Harrison, a former resident of Zyla, Washington, remembers the day of May 17, 1980, one day before the volcanic eruption occurred, spewing millions of tons of superheated ash and debris into the air, killing 57 people. She doesn't remember much about the encounter. She told me she was only 5 years old at the time. I just remember watching him fly down from a tree in front of my window, she said. He then transformed into an actual person, but his eyes were still black and red. He told me to stay inside, that something bad was going to happen. She described the figure as broad and thick. It did not speak to her in the usual manner, but telepathically. His mouth did not move, she said. So if you can point out a natural animal that can speak telepathically in someone's own language, then I'd be happy to listen to that. According to her, she spoke back to him and asked him if he could change into something else. And he changed into different people right before my eyes, she said, my mom being one of them. But when I heard her calling my name, I screamed and he smiled and turned back into this mass he was flying in before. It was a black-bodied figure with eyes and wings, not really a body, just fuzzy blackness. He was gone after that. I did stay inside for a couple of days. The next day the volcano blew up. Put feet of ash all over the orchard and house. Crazy. I didn't know it was him until my family told me about the bridge collapse back in the day and told me stories about it that I put two and two together. She's referring here to the Silver Bridge collapse in Point Pleasant, West Virginia on December 15, 1967, which killed 46 people. The collapse of the bridge is considered by many to be the culmination of the Mothman sightings flap, which gripped Point Pleasant and surrounding counties for months before the tragedy. Interestingly, Harrison claims that some of her relatives were victims of the event and died that cold December night just before Christmas. It was a terrible tragedy, and some of those bodies were never found. No one else saw the entity, she told me. She had been playing alone in her room when she looked out the window when the event transpired. When I asked her if she was sure that it wasn't merely a dream, but an actual memory from her past, she stated it was real, yes, very real, and not a dream at all. So, thank you, Shawnee, for sending me that. That's really interesting. I don't know of any natural animals that can shapeshift into human beings. But again, if one of my viewers out there knows of one that can do that, then please feel free to drop me a line. Tell me about it. All these inhumanoids seem to come with seemingly unnatural or supernatural abilities that nothing else in the world has. So, let's see what else we got here. Okay, everyone, sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties and some interruptions going on there. So let's get back to the emails. This is from a Mr. Esteban Hernandez. Thank you, Esteban, for sending this in. Let's see what you have to say. Hi, Barton. Hope you and your wife are doing well. I've had this story for almost 10 years now. My name is Esteban. I was working at a restaurant in Chicago's South Loop area. I have worked in restaurants all my life, so I'm no stranger to being out late at night. It was a normal Thursday fall night. We had just finished service, which was always crazy. I was taking out the trash to the dumpsters out back of the building. The alley was long with only streetlights in the beginning of both ends of the alley. I had gathered up all the trash and began chucking them out the door when I heard someone rummaging in the dumpster. The dumpster was about 100 yards away from the back door of the building. As I approached the dumpster, I could make out a shadow of a very tall person standing by the dumpster, basically digging around inside. We've had homeless people in our trash. Sometimes they leave a mess and we get yelled at for it. I knew I would hear about it if there was a miss, so I called out, "Hey man, look, I can get you food and water. Please stop digging in the trash." They stopped and let the lid slam shut on the dumpster and just stood there. I began to approach slowly. Sometimes these people may be hopped up on something, so it's best to be cautious. I called out, "Hey, tell me what you want and I'll make it for you. No worries, I'm not mad. I just don't want to get chewed out if you make a mess." No response from the figure, but as I got closer, he began to step towards me. As he approached, I could tell he was kind of hunched over with a long overcoat on, head down. I called out, "Hello, you okay, man?" No reply, but still creeping forward, so I began to back up. I soon realized it wasn't an overcoat at all, but what looked like wings curled around itself. It lifted its head up and sniffed the air, and I could see orange-colored eyes bigger than a person's, but not as big as an owl, but definitely almond-shaped. It seems like I was a mile away from the door right then, but it was probably only 5 to 10 feet away. The figure began to straighten up and its wings began to spread out. It hissed at me as it began to walk slowly. Let's try that again. It hissed at me as it began to slowly walk faster towards me. I just wanted to run, but I was also exhausted from service and frozen, to be honest. I could hear a vehicle approaching behind me. People like to speed down the alleys here, so I would always have to check when I went out the back door. As the car got closer, I could see this thing was about 6 feet 6 inches tall to 6 feet 8 inches tall. It had light colored skin, almost like jaundice, but more of a green hue than yellow. It had pointy ears, not a huge mouth. Its body was slender but toned. It had almond orange eyes and a bat-like nose, very much like a leaf-nosed bat. It had tufts of hair on its chest, legs, and forearms. Its legs were not bent, but like a human's legs that ended with 3-toed feet with claws. The hands had 4 digits with claws, and it began to move its wings. The car was about 100 yards away when I quickly ran against the wall of the alley. The car lights hit it, and it just launched itself straight up into the air without flapping its wings. It got to the top of the large building across the alley and almost seemed to turn in midair and glide over like it was in a current. The man in the van stopped and got out. We both stood there looking up at where this creature had just been. He asked me, "What the hell was that?" To which I replied, "Just a big pigeon," and went back inside. I didn't work there much longer, and I refused to throw out trash any longer. I still look around when I'm out late. The only thing I could compare it to, how it moved, was the creature from the Twilight Zone movie with John Lithgow. It just seemed to glide effortlessly with no concern to wind. I know there has been sightings out there before. Some say it was a Mothman, but this truly was a Batman-type creature or something close to that. I'm Hispanic, so a lot of my family believe in many of the ancient Latin gods, one of which was a giant bat creature called Camazotes. I'm sure there are still sightings happening. Some people, including myself, don't talk about them in fear of being ridiculed, but they are real, and if that van didn't come along, I don't know what would have happened. So I contacted Esteban and I asked him if he was absolutely sure of what he saw and that there was no mistakes. He didn't make any mistakes or anything like that. He wasn't on drugs or anything like that. And he replied, "Yes, sir, it's been a while to process this, but I'm sure of what I have seen." Honestly, that's not the worst thing I've seen, being from Chicago, being from Illinois and working in Chicago. I tell you, these cryptids are scary, but not as scary as human beings. It has caused me to really take a look at the paranormal and realize anything is possible to those who are open to receive these spiritual encounters. Right, I agree 100%, Espen, and thank you so much for sending in that story. I have to say, just be glad this is not the 1970s or 80s or even 90s back then. If you had an inhumanoid encounter and actually went public and started talking about it, nothing positive would have come from that. You would have been ostracized, criticized. A lot of people have lost everything just by coming forward and telling the truth about things that they've seen, back then. Nowadays, it's not that way, thankfully. People can talk openly about these things and not experience any negative repercussions at all. So, thanks again for sending that in. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. It's been really difficult filming. We don't have much of a signal. We have a lot of interruptions and stuff like that. And but we appreciate you spending some time with us today. And again, if you have an encounter with an inhumanoid that you'd like to share with us, a true encounter, not any of this made up bull crap that a lot of people are spreading now, but a true encounter, if you have one, you'd like to share it with us, please send it in at inhumanoidencounters@gmail.com, and we'll see about getting it on one of the future videos. And hopefully we can get back soon, because I have a lot more emails to share with you guys. And next time we're hoping that we won't have such difficult time doing it. So have a great day, and God bless everyone. Happy holidays. See you later.